Yo, how's everyone doing? I wanted to make a video talking about character health values and why it's so important. I know that obviously HP is something that started getting talked about more. I think at first, like HP conversations first started with Nago before his blood gauge was connected to his health bar. That's kind of when it first started, and then as it got, it got nerfed, and then we started moving in season 3, and the later parts of season 3, around 3.5, we just had this huge outrage of, yo, why, why do these characters have so much HP? And that's kind of when higher HP characters were the meta, and I think a lot of people don't really take that into consideration. I mean, back then, in like the 3.5, you had the best characters. You had, still had Johnny, still had Nago, Abba was up there, Soul was up there. You had characters like Kai was arguably up there, depending on who you ask, but he was up there. I think May was up there. I think I already said Slayer. Gold Lewis was up there, right? Leo was up there. Anji was up there, right? All higher HP characters, and it was just so dominant. Okay. It was just so strong. It was so good to have. And I think that with the patch to season 4 where they ended up changing health values, I think that defined a lot of characters, and the buffs and the nerfs heavily affected the characters. For example, people seem to rate Happy Chaos in like the lowest state he's been in, and people don't realize, but he has the same HP as Zato now. Before, Happy Chaos had like Kai HP, around Kai HP, which was absurd for what he did. And he was obviously the best, the best character in the game. But now, he has lower HP, and I think the biggest affected in terms of nerfs by HP was Slayer. Outside of his nerfs, I don't think people realize how important that is on that character when fighting him. I mean, lower HP, they took away his gut, so he has 1 gut now, to the point where when he hits that 30% or lower, he's not just tanking hits anymore. Right? Dizzy has like no HP, but when you get her when her guts start kicking in, she feels invincible, right? I know people have felt, higher guts kick in when fighting characters like Pot and Nago and characters like that, right? Just, Gold Lewis. It just seems like in spots where they can die, it just seems like you gotta hit them one more time with the whole combo. It's like, what? Why is my combo doing like 1%? What's going on, right? So yeah, I think no reversal and lower HP is just like really bad. But in terms of buffs, I mean, dude, so many characters got juiced with the health changes. The first one being Bedman. He went from lower HP than Kai. Bedman went from having like Happy Chaos HP. He might have had less HP than Happy Chaos actually. But went from around that range to being now like the tankiest character in the game. If I pull it up, he is actually... Okay, so excluding Asuka, he is the second highest HP character in the game behind Potemkin. Asuka too. I think, before I keep going in this conversation, I think I want to talk about Asuka just for a second. Like, Asuka obviously has the most HP in the game, but I think one of the things that people don't realize that with his nerfs that kind of killed him is he had the highest HP in the game. They then buffed the damage and then buffed other characters' HP values, right? And they didn't do that for Asuka. So what they ended up doing is they gave him damage buffs, but it wasn't on like actual stuff that mattered, and it was he felt the same damage-wise. I feel like he was actually doing less damage because, again, more HP. And he had the same amount of HP, so it then took away from his uniqueness, right? Like, he went from being the highest health character in the game by, like, pretty much a mile to, like, Pot is essentially, like, the same HP. Which is crazy to think about, considering how strong Pot is currently. But with this patch, kind of the rant just for a second, they didn't change Johnny's HP. And, HP is so strong, because I was talking to someone the other day, I believe I was talking to Trevor, and one of the things he mentioned is, he hates Johnny for the reason that he has this, and this, and on top of that, he's immortal. Like, you don't need all of that, and you need to be able to lack in at least one aspect, and HP is definitely the most important, right? Even if a character has a broken game plan going, if you put them on their back and they can just die, then it balances out way more than you would think. And I think that's one of the issues with Happy Chaos, especially before, is when you put him on his back, he didn't have a DP, but he still had all the defensive mechanics, and on top of that, he just didn't die. His HP he wasn't bottom 5 in HP or anything like that. He still had solid HP, which was very concerning. Obviously Bedman, the meme, he's now Tank Man and whatnot, but that buff to him was huge. Why was a big tank monster refrigerator bed having less HP than Kai and, like, around Happy Chaos? It made no sense. It was really weird. Then people kind of people don't like to talk about it because they hate Sin, but Sin's biggest buff, people might think it's the combos and this and that. No, Sin's biggest buff was definitely the HP change. The HP change to Sin was the biggest buff that they gave him. I believe he has like 70 more HP now. Again, I can put the chart on the screen, but like dude, HP is just, oh my gosh, dude, it's so important. People don't realize this as well, but HP also encourages different playstyles. And I've talked about it briefly with Bedman. You know, they kind of changed Bedman from being like the offense, gel you an offense character, loop this, to, you know, more of a neutral-ish character, and obviously a different game plan, but it's now he's able to take more risk and play differently than he ever has, because, you know, challenging different spots where you wouldn't challenge before, because now if you're wrong, it's not like you just die, right? It changed okay, well, no, I guess Ab has always had a higher HP, but it changed how Sin is supposed to play. He went from a character that they wanted to make him like a pure rushdown almost, right? And that's why he has more HP. When he's out of stamina, he has to take a lot more risk than the average character, since he can't just get his resources back. And higher HP is, you know, you're gonna go in, you're gonna run offense with no stamina, and you're gonna be wrong. And higher HP is the compensate for that, right? You know, you also see it with characters like Milia. Then in this became, she's not anymore, but Milia was the lowest HP character in the game at the start of season 4 when they changed her HP value. She had lower HP than Chip, which didn't make sense, and then they ended up actually buffing it in the emergency balance patch. You know, it just changes the way a character feels, dude. Like, obviously, I know everyone's complaining about the balancing, it's being a little inconsistent. Some characters getting HP changes, some characters not. But I can promise you, with the characters that got the most notable HP changes, so, you know, I would say, like, kind of like how I briefly said, you know, Pot, Sin, Slayer, Happy Chaos, right? Those characters, it changed them a lot. I think with this game, though, overall, the biggest thing that's still present to this day is, sadly, kind of like I mentioned with Johnny, there's just characters are already too strong as it is, that HP needs to play a bigger role in balancing the character. Like, they shouldn't just have this much HP for free. And this was the issue with Slayer. And then they didn't do it for Johnny, right? Slayer and Johnny were the two biggest offenders of why the HP should have gotten changed in the first place. And Johnny's still up there. Like, in fact, he has more HP. So it's like, what's, you know, like, what are we doing? They didn't take away anything. His still same amount of guts, still the same defensive modifier, right? Taking away characters, and I'm not saying Goldblum should have lower HP, because he is a big body, but I mean, like, you know, Anji still having 5 guts with spin, right? Abba maybe having as much HP as she does, right? You know, it seems like, I don't know, some of these characters are just so belligerent, and having this HP is just like, dude. Like, again, I've talked about it a bit, but the damage in this game, in the mindset video I recently put out, it's, well, this character, you know, or sorry, like, I get hit by this character first and I lose the game, right? Or I just get hit in this game in general and it feels like, you know, off first hit I lost, and I'm just telling myself I lost. You know, if that's true, then that also means that when you hit someone, it's the same thing, right? So it just, like, the fact that you're able to live more hits and get those chances where I hit you and boom, you die, with everything, you know, going into it, it's just like, yeah, like, it's higher HP is messed up. Having it's such a blessing, dude. Like, it's actually such a privilege. So I don't know. I definitely think I would like to see some characters get some lower HP values. I think the characters that can just do everything, like Johnny, for example, I definitely think should have lower HP. I think Anji should have lower HP, right? I definitely hope maybe in this game more characters get the Slayer treatment. Taking away their reversal would be, oh man, that would be so nice. Taking away characters' reversal while nerfing their health is... But, like, having that stupid offense is, like, that's fine. That's fine. Just make it rewarding. When, like, let us actually put some fear in the player's heart that is just doing these belligerent options and then not really getting punished for it because they have infinite, like, HP. But yeah, I just kind of want to get on here and talk about why I think it's, you know, so important. I truly do stand. I think HP is the most underrated thing in the game when it comes to characters, and I think it needs to be considered way more heavy when balancing characters or you know, putting characters in the game. I know there are some characters, kind of like how Nago's blood affects his health and Asuka's shield deflects how much damage he takes, or his mana bar affects how much damage he takes when it runs out. Characters like Giovanna that also gains more HP, the more like meter she has and whatnot, right? She becomes one of the tankiest characters in the game when she has like the full bar, right? So it's cool, but again, I just think it needs to be valued a bit higher in the eyes of the developers. But yeah, that's pretty much all from me. Again, I know there's probably more, I probably missed out on something, but again, the graph will probably be on the screen so you guys can take a look at it as well. I'm sure it'll be up there. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you, everyone. Or did I say graph? No, it's not really a graph. It's more like just data. But yeah, again, thank you everyone for watching. I will be back soon. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to what you guys think. If maybe I'm just yapping. So let me know. Thank you, everyone. And until next time.